Good morning, guys, and happy Motivational Monday. Today, I want to talk about destiny. So, I want you guys to leave in the comments your goals, what you think your destiny is, what journey you think that you should be on for your life. Because, first off, nobody can tell you what your destiny is. You know what your destiny is for you. So many people can try to speak into your life, and some are positive, some not so much. So, take that with a grain of salt, especially those of you that are just finding yourself. You might have just graduated high school and you don't necessarily know if you want to go to college, or you don't necessarily know if you want to be an entrepreneur, what avenue you want to go into. Take time to find out who you are. And that's important because so many voices can be speaking into your life, and you become confused because you want to please your parents, you want to please your community, you want to please, society. Society tells you, oh, you have to go to college as soon as you graduate high school, and that's not necessarily true. Um, I personally, my husband and I have a savings account for my daughter, and I want her to travel. I want her to understand different cultures. I want her to understand different people groups, and not just be set on what her culture is and what she knows things to be. So with that, I'll just jump right in. I am now currently almost 30. I'll be 30 in a few months. Um, and I am just going to be graduating next year with my bachelor's degree. So usually, straight out of high school, you usually graduate college at about 22. So I'm a little late in the game, but I kind of had to navigate and figure that thing out for myself, rather than someone helping me along. And sometimes that's okay. So I want you guys to write your goals in the comments, and then on Friday, which my schedule will be Mondays and Fridays, um, probably posting around 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon and evening because I am a mother. So, um, Friday we can chat about whatever you post in the comments today. Anyhow, so I went through high school. I went to a community college, and then from that community college, I moved with my best friend for about 6 months. Didn't necessarily work out. Moved back home. Went back to that community college. Um, didn't finish then either because I was working full time, and it just became too much on me working full time and going to school full time. So didn't finish then either. So I eventually just dropped out and said, I guess school is not for me. Fast forward a few years, I began talking with one of my high school friends. Hey, Eileen, how you doing, girl? Anyway, um, I began talking to her, and she was telling me, I'm going to school online, and it works perfect with my schedule. She's a mother also. So she's like, "Oh, I'm going to school completely online. Go ahead and sign up." And I'm like, "Oh, I haven't been doing really good in times past. I don't know." But it would happen that things in my life would happen, which I'll talk about later in the podcast because I don't want this week to be too deep. It would happen that Um, I ended up signing up for it, and it has been pretty smooth until this year. My financial aid, and I had a issue with a professor, so it got pretty rocky, but it's been pretty smooth, and I'm back on track. So, I'm not gonna dwell on the negative on how I was treated in that class or my financial aid being dropped or any of that. But anyhow, I am back on track, and I will be graduating in about a year and a half. So I say all that to say this: there will be many roadblocks. There will be many trials. There will be things that you'll face. Don't give up on those goals. If those goals really mean something to you, don't give up on those goals. If those goals are things that are deep in your heart or things that you know that you have wanted to work on for years in your life. My degree is in social work. I am working to be a clinical counselor for grief. Um, I feel like that's what God has called me to. So if you are an artist, if you are an athlete, if you are whatever you put your hand towards or you put your mind towards or it's in your heart to do, to and it might even be outside of get go to college and then get a job for 9 to 5 and then come home and then be a wife and be this and be that. Society tells you so many things. It's so many other voices in your ear. First off, I would advise through, and most of this podcast is going to be through the lens of being a Christian. I would advise for you to sit, to get counsel. Counsel meaning someone older than you, someone in a field that you're trying to get to, mentorship. Sit along with yourself first. Pray. Ask God, where am I going? What's going on? Um, what are the steps that I should be taking? Who should I be talking to? And then secondly, I would say get that mentorship. And also coupled with the prayer and the sitting alone, I would add journaling or a planner, something where you can write down your thoughts, something where you can really set forth those goals and check them off. A vision board too, but so many people have a vision board and they just be putting Bugattis and all of these Ferraris and all these things on them. So I would say set those goals step by step. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, set your business plan. Write down your business plan in your journal. Go that route. I don't necessarily think $1 billion mansion and being the world's next influencer. If that's your goal, okay, great. But steps that will lead you up the mountain, not 0 to 100, because everything in this life, for the most part, unless something happens, is step by step. So I would suggest and advise that you sit, you write down your plans, write down your thoughts. What do you think, would be the best way to go about doing whatever your dream is? Write down your ideas and then come back to it. And then seek mentorship from there. Seek somebody that you know is in that field, that is accomplished in that field, that has insight to give you, not just saying anything just to talk. In that field, after you seek the mentorship, after you prayed, after you sat with yourself and wrote it down, then put forth the action. Nothing's gonna happen just out of happenstance, and it's just gonna be like, oh wow, I became a millionaire overnight. That's unrealistic. Put forth the action. So if you say, hey, I want to start a business, and you've done all of those other steps, and now what do? What product do you have? Think about that. Websites, think about that. Community, who you're able to market to, think about those things, and then put it into action. That's always going to be, the thing. Actions. You can have 1,000,000,002 ideas, but you have to really put it into action. I really, really want to get into this girl chat on Friday. I'm gonna read the comments if there are any. If not, I'm just gonna give you some personal stories as to the hurdles that I've had to overcome and what I've done to put my personal plans into action. And that's all I have for today, guys. I thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great day. This is Jam, just jamming. An unpretentious podcast, your awkward big sister, and we just gonna talk. Bye.